What's up, Tiger fans? It's Morgan here with the Morgan Thomas Show. Back again, this time with a 5-minute video about your Clemson Tigers. And in a new and interesting location, I have finally made it here to Charlotte, getting ready to go to the game and be in the press box and report and give you all the stats throughout the game tonight. 8 p.m. ABC, Clemson Tigers versus the North Carolina Tar Heels in the ACC championship game. One game that is kind of really unpredicted what could happen because both teams are really trying to find themselves again after having a decent start to the season and skyrocketing up in the polls. Now, at the end of the season, trying to figure out what works for them. And again, we have 5 minutes here. I want to tell you what I think about the game. First of all, I'll go ahead and say on the Pick'em contest for the radio, I put down, give me North Carolina plus the points. I do hope, as a Clemson fan, I hope that Clemson wins. And I feel like that they have a great opportunity in front of them and have a chance to win the game and become ACC champions yet again. However, you really don't know what you're going to get right now from the Clemson offense, and North Carolina is the same way. You don't know what you're going to get from them, but North Carolina can be very, very explosive on offense. Clemson, while they can get better for sure, we don't know if they can be as explosive as North Carolina. The one thing that we do know is that Clemson's defense is much better, has proven themselves to be much better than North Carolina. So you first of all have to rely on the defense. That's first and foremost. Make sure that they come out with some fire. Make sure that they get to the quarterback quickly. Contain Drake May because he's going to try to use his legs to provide opportunities for him in the passing game. He's going to be able to try to exploit you in many different ways. He knows how to get to the wide receivers on the outside. He knows how to get to the tight end. He can hand the ball off, and he can run himself. So he's very dynamic, and it's going to be difficult for Clemson's defense to try to contain him. Maybe you can't contain him the entire game, but just enough to hopefully get that offense back on track. The biggest thing for the offense, really, as Dabo Swinney mentioned this week, is you have to cut out the turnovers. They've really had so many turnovers this year in the past couple of games. I think 15 in the last 5 games, and you just can't have that. It's uncommon for Clemson, and you can't have it the way they had it against South Carolina, where you're giving the other team great field position. Not only are they pinning you back because they have a great punter, but you also gave it to them in short yardage as well to be able to score more easily on you. So you don't want to do that again. You don't want a repeat of that. It's really hard to know what's going to happen when it comes to fumbles, really. You hope for the best. You hope that you've trained them and taught them to try to not do everything on one play, to try to not try to win it on one play. You try to win it over the game time. But I think that Clemson should and will, and the staff has tried to reinforce that it's a team game, it's a long game. There's no need to try to overdo it or try to win the game in one play. And protection of the football, reducing turnovers, winning the turnover margin is key. And Dabo Swinney mentioned that as well. That's what he wants to do. So that's the first thing. If they can get that out of the way, for me, I really think that, when the hindsight's hindsight, right? I really feel like that we know that Clemson needs to run the ball more effectively. I felt like they did give Will Shipley an ample amount of carries last game, but they could have given him more, and they could have made better opportunities, but the field position hurt them too. Going into this game, we have a lot of fans, and even myself, say, well, the Tigers just need to run the ball. That's what they're good at. That's all they got to do. They just need to run the ball more. It's unrealistic to think that they can win a game by just running and that's it. I don't really feel like Clemson's offensive line is built to be able to just dominate you running the ball and nothing else, like Notre Dame did to Clemson. What I think Clemson is going to need to throw the ball every now and then, especially if North Carolina comes out hot and is able to make some big plays in the passing game. Clemson's going to have to match that. And I feel like that the biggest thing is in the passing game, since you can't ignore it, the thing that you need to do is say, hey, who are my key guys that I have to go to, that I need to go to in those critical downs on 3rd down, maybe 4th down, 2nd down and long? they're not the guys that I think were used against South Carolina. The guys that have to be used, number one, Antonio Williams. But you can't overuse him because then he'll get double and triple teamed maybe. So you have to use him for sure and get him involved in any way possible, whether it's putting him in motion, whether it's having him on sweeps, on handoffs even. Just whatever you can do, get Antonio Williams involved. And then the other thing is, if your outside guys aren't really there, if they're really not trustworthy, and we've seen many of them over this season and even last season included, just not getting it done, then you need to rely on your tight ends, your Davis Allen, your Jake Brenningstool. Those guys need to be your 2 and 3, maybe even 1 in there above Antonio Williams, depending on how the defense is covering them. I want to see a lot of tight ends used. I want to see a lot of Antonio Williams. And then even after that level, I'm going to go ahead and say I want to see running backs get in the passing game as well. We know Will Shipley can be lethal there, and even Phil Maffa too, as well. So for me, it goes Antonio Williams, tight ends, running back, because you got to have a passing game. You can't just only run the ball, even though that can be your primary goal. I look to see the run set up the pass instead of what they tried last week, where it was more of trying to get that one good pass to set up the rest of the play. I want to see it vice versa and see the run game dominate and then open up options for the pass to those guys that have proven to you that they deserve that shot. Let me know what you think. Am I completely off base? This is kind of a redo of the video that I did at home because there were some audio issues I heard. So I'm redoing this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Am I completely off? I'd love to know what you think. And if you like this video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of my exclusive Clemson content I put out every single week. All right, Tiger fans, we'll see you at the top of the hill.